harvest.
Welcome, Ifriqiya FM. This is Yasmine Benachour. Military tension continues to rise in the Middle East. Algeria and several African countries strongly condemn the growing violence in the region. They express concern about the risk of a wider regional conflict. These countries call for an immediate stop to military actions and ask all parties to return to dialogue and diplomatic solutions. They stress that peace and stability are important for the security for the whole region. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz causes oil prices to increase around the world. Many countries depend on this important waterway for oil transport. As prices rise, transport and energy costs also increase in several African countries. This situation creates economic pressure on governments and citizens. Experts warn that higher prices may lead to inflation and slower economic growth in the coming month. Joining me here in the studio, Iman Nouad. Welcome, Iman.
Hello, Yasmine.
So, Iman, with escalating tensions in the Middle East and the temporary closure of the Strait of Hormuz, how this is disruption affecting the global economy and African markets?
Well, Yasmine, to summarize, the situation in the Middle East is intensifying sharply with military strikes, retaliatory attacks and growing instability across key energy and the trade hubs. In the last few days, shipping and energy infrastructure have been targeted, as well as rising fears of wider regional conflict and disruption of global supply chain. Now, the crisis is deepening after authorities shut down the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical maritime routes, knowing that around 20% of global oil and significant gas supplies pass through this corridor. And the tanker traffic has dropped sharply as companies suspend operations for African economies. However, the shock is immediate, with rising freight, insurance and import costs driving inflation and weakening currencies. Financial experts highlight that the global trade did expect this, with the risk of management team, and even have a backup plan to face the situation. Idir Sassi, a financial expert, explains.
The current war escalation in the Middle East currently, of course, has a major impact regionally and worldwide. The impact that we can see is, of course, linked with the energy, as Middle East is still a main exporter of energy in the world, and closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iran, create a new situation, which is the logistic consequences for to supply the oil and gas. However, at the same time, companies globally, oil and gas companies or investors, let's say they are prepared for this kind of risk, because it's expected on their risk mapping, even if the supply will register some delays, which is around 30% in terms of timing. And there is another strait, which is Suez Channel, because of the Houthis reaction. Some of logistic routes will be impacted. If we can check, for example, the current delays from Shanghai to Genoa, is 300% in terms of cost of pricing, of course, which will impact globally the availability of goods and also the prices of goods.
With this, markets reacted instantly, with the global hydrocarbons prices jumping by more than 12% overnight, with the Brent crude moving above $100 per barrel, a sharp reminder of how quickly geopolitical tension can cripple and ripple through the global economy.
Thank you, Iman, for
Thank
your
you,
information.
Yasmine.
In the economic field, still, the executive director of the African Energy Commission says Algeria plays an important role in strengthening energy security in Africa. He explains that Algeria has long experience in oil and gas production and also invests in renewable energy projects. He says that in a world marked by geopolitical tensions and fast energy transition, energy independence remains a key priority for African countries. In the Indian Ocean region, Mauritius criticized the position of the Maldives regarding the Chagos archipelago. Mauritius says it has legal and historical rights over the islands and continues discussions with the United Kingdom, the former colonial power. The issue attracts international attention as observers say it reflects growing competition between major world powers in the Indian Ocean region. In France, the Friends of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic renew their support for the Sahrawi people. The event marks the 50th anniversary of the creation of the Republic and the association. Finally, in sport, Egypt ends second qualifying window with 91 to 52 to win over Uganda, but finished third in group behind Mali and Angola in 2027 World Cup African qualifiers. This was the Harvest of the Day. Thank you for your attention. It was directed by Muadbab Ahmed, controlled with Yusuf, and streaming with Islam. Now we switch to Tamanrasset station. Enjoy the rest of our programs in Hausa, Bambara, and Tamashek with Ifriqiya FM. صح فطوركم.
Ifriqiya FM 100